In a quaint and isolated town, there stood a bar known as the Whispering Willow. It had been around for generations, and its dimly lit interior and creaking floorboards gave it an atmosphere of both charm and mystery. One gloomy winter's night, a group of friends decided to visit the Whispering Willow. They had heard the rumors of strange happenings in the bar, but they dismissed them as mere tales spun to attract curious visitors. Little did they know, they were about to experience something inexplicable. As they entered the bar, the atmosphere was heavy with an eerie silence. The bartender, an elderly man with a long white beard, gave them a weary smile as they took their seats. The group ordered their drinks and settled in, trying to make themselves comfortable. Shortly after, they noticed a painting on the wall. It depicted an ominous-looking willow tree that seemed to cast an uncanny shadow over the bar. One of the friends pointed it out, and they all laughed nervously about the supposed curse associated with the tree. As the night wore on, the air grew colder, and the patrons started to leave one by one until only the group of friends remained. They decided to have one last round before heading home. That's when they began to hear faint whispers, like the rustling of leaves in the wind. Startled, they turned to each other, wondering if they were imagining things. The whispers grew louder, and the friends realized that they were not alone in the bar. The atmosphere became suffocating, and they felt an invisible presence surrounding them. The bartender had disappeared, leaving their drinks behind, and the painting of the willow tree seemed to come alive, its branches moving as if beckoning to them. Terrified, they hurried toward the exit, but the heavy wooden door wouldn't budge. Panic set in as the whispers grew into menacing voices, and shadows danced around them. They were trapped, and the bar had transformed into a nightmarish realm. Just as they were about to lose hope, the whispers suddenly stopped, and the bartender reappeared with an expression of deep sadness. He explained that the bar was indeed cursed by the spirits of those who had met tragic ends there over the centuries. The only way to escape was to leave behind something of sentimental value as an offering to appease the restless souls. Desperate to escape, each friend left a personal item at the bar. The bartender nodded approvingly, and the door finally swung open. They stumbled out into the cold night, their hearts racing and their minds forever haunted by the horrors they had witnessed in the Whispering Willow. To this day, the group of friends cannot forget their eerie encounter, and they warn others to stay away from the haunted bar, where the whispers of the past still echo through time, waiting to ensnare anyone who dares to enter. Nestled deep in the heart of a sleepy, forgotten town stood a bar known as the Midnight Chalice. This bar was famous for its mysterious and unsettling history, attracting curious visitors from far and wide. One crisp autumn evening, a group of friends decided to visit the Midnight Chalice. They had all heard the eerie stories surrounding the place, but were eager to experience it for themselves. The moment they entered, they were greeted by the dimly lit, cavernous interior of the bar. The walls were adorned with ancient, faded paintings that seemed to watch the patrons with their spectral eyes. The group found a corner booth and ordered their drinks. As the night wore on, the bar began to fill with an aura of unease. A chill seemed to settle over the patrons, and whispers of ghostly apparitions and inexplicable phenomena filled the air. The friends exchanged nervous glances but brushed off the stories as mere superstitions. They soon became entranced by a peculiar, old jukebox in the corner of the bar. The music it played was a collection of eerie, melancholic tunes that sent shivers down their spines. As they continued to enjoy their drinks, they noticed that the jukebox was playing songs that seemed to reflect their innermost fears and regrets. One by one, the friends began to see strange apparitions in the mirrors that adorned the bar's walls. The spirits of the past patrons who had met tragic fates in the Midnight Chalice appeared to be reaching out to them, their spectral hands outstretched. Panicked, they tried to leave but found the exit locked. The patrons around them had now transformed into ghastly figures, their faces twisted with pain and sorrow. The room seemed to grow darker with each passing second, and the air was thick with an otherworldly presence. Desperation set in as the friends realized they were trapped in this eerie place. In their search for a way out, they stumbled upon an old photograph behind the bar. It depicted the original owner of the Midnight Chalice, a man rumored to have made a sinister pact with the unknown. In a last-ditch effort to escape, they removed the photograph from the wall and placed it in the jukebox. The music grew louder and more haunting, but, miraculously, the door swung open, and they fled into the cool night. The friends were forever changed by their terrifying experience in the Midnight Chalice, where the past and present coexisted in a realm of darkness and despair. They left behind the cursed photograph, a reminder of the haunting truths that lie within the walls of that enigmatic bar, which continues to draw the curious and the unwary into its chilling embrace. In a remote, forgotten town, there was a bar known as the Haunting Hour. It was a place that had seen better days, its exterior marred with peeling paint and an eerie air that sent shivers down the spines of anyone who ventured inside. On a misty, moonless night, a group of friends decided to explore the Haunting Hour. The bar had a reputation for strange occurrences, and they were eager to experience the mystery for themselves. Upon entering, they were greeted by the flickering glow of dim, crimson lights. The bar was nearly empty, save for a few locals who sat in silence. The bartender, an elderly woman with piercing, knowing eyes, served them drinks and cast a knowing glance in their direction. As the night wore on, the group couldn't help but notice the strange decor. The walls were adorned with antique mirrors that reflected distorted images, and an old, cracked piano stood in the corner, untouched for years. The friends exchanged nervous jokes about the eerie atmosphere, but the unease lingered. As the hours passed, the group started to hear faint, haunting melodies coming from the untouched piano. The notes played themselves, filling the bar with a mournful tune. The patrons hushed, and an unsettling chill swept through the room. Then, they saw the mirrors. Their reflections began to warp and twist, showing glimpses of the bar's past patrons, each one trapped in a spectral moment of despair. The friends stared in horror as they watched scenes of tragedy and torment unfold within the mirrors. Panicked, they rushed to leave, but the door wouldn't budge. The bartender watched them with a knowing smile, her eyes now holding a malevolent glint. It became clear that they were not alone in the haunting hour. The group was trapped, surrounded by the spirits of the bar's haunted history. Desperate for an escape, one of them remembered a tale about the bar. To leave the haunting hour, you had to offer something of great personal value. Each of them reached into their pockets and left behind items with deep sentimental meaning. As they placed their offerings on the bar, the door finally creaked open, and they fled into the cool, misty night. They left the haunting hour forever changed, the chilling memories of that fateful night etched into their minds. The bar, with its eerie mirrors and cursed piano, continued to draw in those curious enough to venture inside, leaving them with an enduring and haunting experience that defied explanation.